Hi, Juliette. Getting through these emails because I think there's a lot of exchanges between now and the end of getting near the end of the order of protection. This is August 2nd, 2017. Dear Lori, I wanted to thank you so much for writing back. You had some questions, and I would be glad to answer them. I have a few for you as well. Communicating is important if we are to resolve our issues for the sake of Juliette, but the written message can often be misunderstood, and only face to face discussion can really work towards the intentions of the words. I know on Facebook many times a message is written and taken the totally wrong way because you lose humor, inflection, irony, sarcasm, and all of the other things it can be taken that can be taken when not spoken. Is one of the reasons why I am reading these emails instead of just posting them. You say you find it hard to write me because I scrutinize every word you write. I certainly do. It is not to search for criticism, it is to understand your intent and to hear about my daughter. I am happy that she is feeling better. I must first say about your criticism of my letter concerning women's rights. I asked you to cherry pick the letters and look for the best ones, but I do appreciate that you read them and discuss them with me, that this would not be the best one to read to her right now. I have not seen her in 560 days, so I have no idea of her current condition. You could have edited out the parts you thought were too graphic. I don't understand why I should not be telling her about women's rights. I would like you to write something that seemed misandric. Right clear from the email, I bet you nobody listening to this knows what the word misandric means. Misandric. I encourage you to look it up without telling you. I wanted you to read the one about Pittsburgh, and there were many other good ones. Read them. Read the poem I dedicated her by Neil Hannon called Charmed Life. I also said that you said Juliette would not. I also said that after you said Juliette would not read the letters, I started writing to them in the future, as I would now be talking to her, and who knows, 10 years from now. This applied to the letter about the subjugation of women. I was writing thinking that she would be reading it now, maybe 10 years from now, or whenever she would actually read my letters. If you think you can't write me because I get mad, I allow you to read my past emails and make your own judgment on that. Besides from my first email, I said I had no choice but to be nice. And being mean would make any reconciliation a total loss. Whether I'm sincere or not, well, that is for you to judge over time. I can say nothing but humble. I can say nothing can humble you more than losing the person you love the most in the world for 2 years. If that doesn't humble you, I don't know what will. Once again, you could be interpreting the written word incorrectly. As for my will, I hope to God you do not tell her about it. That would be totally inappropriate, particularly in her sensitive state. I never thought that would even be a consideration. As for jumping through hoops, yes, I'm very familiar with that action. It's funny that she accuses me of making Juliette jump through hoops. Uh, you know, but I know I had said in my will would not include several things, including Juliette reading the letters. But with the seemingly non-cooperation from my sister about my dad's land, and the prospect I may have to hire a lawyer to take it to court again, or if I have to hire a lawyer to probate my dad's will, that's put Juliette out of the will for reasons I previously stated. If things change, if people do the right thing, I am sure the will is going to change. But I will not make Juliette do anything, just like the crazy idea of making her learn how to drive. I hope you have not been communicating with Delilah. I have in an email strict orders that she is not to relay anything I say to you. That the order of protection is at stake. And it's true for anybody who's listening. I'm not only not allowed to talk to, I'm not allowed to have anyone speak to Lori or Juliette on my behalf. And I could go to jail for that. Now, your questions. I dropped my first therapist because I wanted a new perspective. He was good. He helped me take a look at a lot of my faults and worked on changing them. And I would quote you from books and authors on morality, but you responded, I'm having illusions of grandeur or whatever. My new therapist, Kim, asked what you meant by that. And I confessed I have no idea. But my goal is making my life better and having better relationships with other people. I have seen that change in my life already. A quick note about that studio job. That was last fall, and only wrote you that I took a full-time job. I would lose it. You would lose the $1,200 payment from my Social Security that you get every month. But in the end, I took a part-time, and as far as that goes, the studio job never existed because I was never more leg pain than I worked at ABC and IR 70 hours a week. You will unfortunately lose that payment next April when Juliette turns 18. I was experiencing what Viktor Frankl calls existential vacuum, loss of a job, loss of Juliette, loneliness. I wanted to be useful. This new therapist is and I don't think I'm Freud now by quoting Viktor Frankl or whatever you think illusions of grandeur means. Or your mother thinks, whatever your mother thinks illusions of grandeur means. These is letters to Juliette, not to Lori. These are emails to Lori, your mother. Okay, I just want to make that clear, but I do get confused sometimes. Back to the email to your mother. The new therapist is at the very place you mentioned, and I wanted to go to a place that would see both of us or all of us. If you would be agreeable to that. Plus, she is an existentialist, and that study has turned my life around. I am no longer sad. I see purpose in my life, and I plan on living a long time. I get my knees fixed next January, then exercise. Even though my first therapist was good, I hit a home run with this new one. If you say I think you are controlling Juliette, I would like you to do is post the email date I said that. Because I never said that. What I said was that you have a great deal of influence on her mending our relationship and what would be the best thing for her. I do have to say that I never got the idea Juliette didn't want to see me. I will only believe that when she tells it to me face to face. Break away from the email. That would be a big challenge for Lori. Just put her in a room with an agreeable adult with just me and you, Juliette, and have Juliette tell me what she thinks. And I know your mother would never do that because I think I have a pretty good idea that you would want to see me. Back to the email. I do have to say that I never got the idea that Juliette didn't want to see me. I will only believe it if she tells me face to face. All right, but let me end on being positive. You have an impression of me that is old, and it would only be fair to give me a chance because both therapists said no teenage girl doesn't want a relationship with her father. I don't expect you to be my friend, just civil, and allow me to help my daughter and bring her back in my life. Now, are you going to try and extend the order? Do you intend to try the family therapist with me in October? Have you been talking about all this I say with my sister? As far as my dad's will goes, once again, let me die and have the IRS auction off the land and the house. That would essentially get nothing now. Well, now my friends will have to lend me the money for a lawyer so I can probate it in court. And she'll have to get a lawyer from Louisiana and Florida. And no one will get anything anyway that way. She sort of stopped talking to me since I told you Juliette was out of the will. I admit that made me a little paranoid. I have no reason to doubt my sister. I can never believe she would ever do anything to hurt me. So another question. Do you think it would be a good idea to ask Juliette's psychiatrist about a reconciliation with me, if for no other purpose than to relieve her anxiety about me? I cannot force anything. I can only hope that you do the right thing. She is my daughter. I have asked you often how you would feel if my situation were reversed. I think I have shown I have no intention for revenge, anger, resentment, or anything that would harm either of you. I have done my time and my duty. The time lost will never come again. I answered your questions. I think it would be fair to answer mine. We are only 2 months away. On a personal note, Lori, I don't hate you. I really don't. I wish you could find it in your heart not to hate me either. This happened, and we all have to move on. Doing what is best for Juliette is what we should both care about at this point going forward. Have a good trip and enjoy the eclipse. I hope your mother is well. So your mother and you are going on vacation down south. This is August. I know that just because your mother always does in August. So we did every August. And once again, I'm appealing about using a new therapist for us to get together. I am trying to be nice in my emails to your mother as much as I can, other than trying to defend myself. I have to say that my opinion of your mother does change over time because of what happens after the order of protection ends. But once again, I am just becoming increasingly hopeful that the order of protection date now is really getting seriously close. It's less than 2 months. And I'll end this here. I love you, Juliette. Remember, nobody can ruin your life. And life is about suffering and overcoming it. And that will make you stronger. Okay, dear? Bye.